there, I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a sleep consultant at Helping Babies Sleep, and today I want to talk to you about helping your little one adjust to Hawaii time from California time. So I live in California. We've been to the Hawaii with the kids a number of times. There's many people in the Bay Area that head out that way, so I'm sharing a few tips with you. So the thing about going to Hawaii is you're traveling west, and that means that if your child's waking up at 6:30, that's now going to be 4:30 or 3:30 depending on the time of year in Hawaii, and that's because Hawaii doesn't follow daylight savings time. So you've got a 2 or 3 hour chunk, and those are pretty early wake up times, and they can feel pretty painful for a parent. So what can you do? Well, in general, traveling to Hawaii, I always suggest that you book your flights if you can in the morning. Kids are just generally better travelers. They're not as tired in the morning if you can go. Now, the other challenge to think of is, like, if they're going to be waking up if the time changes so much, that means your bedtime is also weird now. So if your baby was going to bed at 7, by 5 p.m. they're going to be ready to hit the hay. And the question is, like, what do you do? Do you let them sleep at 5 a.m.? This is the fine line between trying to shift that schedule versus letting them get overtired. Because if your kid's overtired, then they're going to wake up more in the night, and you still have a greater chance of those early morning wake-ups. So it is a fine line. So I actually like to use naps as a way to kind of help bridge the time. Now, let's just be clear, if you did nothing, it takes your body 1 day to adjust to 1 hour in time change. So if you did nothing, your baby would probably adjust on their own in 3 days. But for many of us, our trips are 7 days. So that's like almost half your trip where you're waking up at 4 a.m. So how can you help? How can you try and get ahead of this? So one thing you can do is you can try and use naps to help you out by shifting your naps a bit later. So that naturally pushes your bedtime a little bit later, so it's not 5 p.m. Sometimes you can treat that 5 p.m. as like a cat nap. Can they nap for a little bit, and then you get them up, have some dinner, and try and get them down a little bit later, 7:30, 8:30 Hawaii time. So they didn't get overtired by staying awake from, say, 2 p.m. until 7. That'd be a long time for many little people, but using a nap to help to cap them. Now, breastfeeding babies have an advantage because sometimes you can get lucky and use breastfeeding at, say, 4 a.m. to help manipulate them into one more sleep cycle so that you adjust their wake-up time that way. And really, traveling with kids, you do whatever you can to get them to sleep, so I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. You also want to get lots of sunshine during the day, because that helps inhibit melatonin. Melatonin comes out when it's dark, and it signals your body that it's time to sleep. So if you're going into Hawaii in the winter, maybe dark at 5 p.m., so the melatonin is already coming out at that time. But the sun will help inhibit it. Okay, I put this all much more cohesively in my blog post, which I'm going to link down here. Have a good trip.